Hi everybody, my name is Carly. I'm a Community Activation and Learning Officer for Melton City Council, and normally when we're out of lockdown, I am based at our Kurunjang Community Hub. While we're in lockdown, I'm just doing some online videos, some cooking, and this one's a bit of a arty crafty one. So we've got a couple of dogs, and I'm gonna make a snuffle mat for them. So we've got a puppy. And puppy schools encourage that we have a little snuffle mat to hide his treats in so he can have a sniff around and just learn to be a little bit more curious. So to do that, you can buy all this stuff on Click and Collect as well. So I did a Click and Collect from Spotlight for some material, and I did a Click and Collect from Bunnings for this mat. So I bought I think it was a 90 by 60, and I'm just cutting it into a few different pieces. We've got a couple of dogs, and I'll probably make a few extra ones for some friends and family that have pups. So you just need one of these. This was a Mat Pro brand mat. So any mat with holes like this will work, and you can really easily cut them. I just cut this with some, I don't even know if these are kitchen scissors, fabric scissors, whatever they are. So I've just cut them down into a few different sizes. I bought a couple of meters of fleece. So I've got some different colored fleeces here that I've cut into strips. You can do the strips. These are probably, I don't know, anywhere between 6 to 10 centimeters, maybe 15 centimeters long by about a couple of centimeters wide. I've done, like, no quality assurance here. I've done a whole bunch of different sizes. So then once you start, you'll actually tie the pieces into the loops here. I have actually started one. So you'll end up with, it'll look a little bit like this in the end. So I will show you how to tie them onto the one that I've already started. And then when it's at the end there, I'll show you what it all looks like. But yeah, this can all be bought. So the material was from Spotlight, Click and Collect. You can get fleece for, it's literally, I think, $2 or $3 a meter. They didn't have a lot in stock when I bought it. So this one with the dots on it was a little bit more expensive, but I also bought a couple of rolls of fleece. I think this one here, that's 1 meter by 1.4. I think I paid $3 or $4 for this on the Spotlight Click and Collect. So I did a Click and Collect, I think, from Water Gardens. Otherwise you can get it delivered. So yeah, we'll just start. I'll show you how to tie it in on these loops, and then when it's finished, I'll show you it all finished, and then we might do another smaller one with some different little sections of material on it, so I can show you some different ways to make your snuffle mat a bit more interesting for the puppies. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to, so the fleece has made a bit of a mess on itself, so that's just, but this is what it looks like once you've tied some of them on. So I'm just going to show you how to tie some of these strips onto the mat. Now this is a really long bit, so I might put this in the middle. So you just go into these holes on the mat and just loop the material through the holes. So this is one of the smaller holes here, and then loop it through the other side. Probably shouldn't have done it with a black one, you can't see too well. And then you just tie it. I'll do it in a double knot with this big bit of material here. Just tie it in a double knot. That's probably too long, to be honest. I might trim that. And you just keep doing that. Now I've gone through each hole a couple of times, so I'll put 2 or 3 bits of material through each of these bits just to make it a bit denser. So let's bring the camera, stand that up there. So you just come through there and through there. There's a grumpy dog in the background. And just tie that in a knot. So the more of these that you tie on there, the denser this will become. So you can see this section here where I've done it. If you run your hands through there, you actually can't see any of the plastic mat underneath. So this is where you'll hide their treats and stuff. So I might do a little time lapse of me tying some on, and then I'll show you the finished product. Okay, so this is the finished Snuffle mat with all the pieces just tied on there. So as you can see, it's super, super dense. I've trimmed the edges to make sure there was no big bits of plastic hanging off the edge. So when you hold it up like that, you can see that you can't see any of the plastic bits on the edges. So what we'll do is we'll just hide a couple of the puppy's treats in there, and he'll have a little field day in there. I've used the fleece, so I can probably give it a quick vacuum over the top. Obviously, you can't really throw this in the washing machine, and I wouldn't use wet treats in it. I'd use, you know, the dehydrated bits of meat and maybe the dry kibble and stuff like that. I might do another little one here, and we'll do some bits of material tied on like this, but I might try a few other bits and bobs. I'll have a look at some other Snuffle mats on the internet, and we'll see what else we can do with the fleece that we've got. Maybe give them, you can do a bit of a rosette of material, and that way they've got a little bunch of material in there that they can put their little snout in and have a sniff around in. So that's the finished tied material one, and we'll have a fiddle with this little one now, and I'll show you a few different ways of putting different bits and bobs on the Snuffle mats. Okay, so with this smaller one here, I'm going to put a flat piece of fleece down on one section. So I'm just using some super glue. You could sew it if you really wanted to. I'm terrible with a needle and thread. So I'm just running the super glue along the edge of the plastic there, and I'm just pushing the fleece down into that. Now I'm putting material on probably 2/3 of this. I'm going to tie the bits of material on this side so there's a bit of, it'll look similar to that other one. And then on here, I'm just going to do some little bunches of material and maybe some rosettes and stuff just to mix it up a little bit. So there's some little different sections for him. I might even put some flaps of material and stuff as well. Again, you can use glue, you can sew it on if you want. I might have to sew some of the flaps on, but I'm just going to have a little bit of a fiddle. But yeah, I've glued these edges down, and I'll come back and show you once I've put some little bits and different sections on there for you. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little section here where there's going to be some just some strips of material hanging down. So I've just cut the fleece into strips, and then I'm actually pulling on it. And it just curls up a little bit. So they end up, I've done it with the black ones, probably done it the best. So I'm just going to put a few of them in one section. I'm just going to glue it down just on one section of the black fleece that I've put here, and then I might actually curl some up and stick them on in little rosettes like that, just so you can put a treat in there and they'll be able to sniff it out of that. So just, yeah, cut your fleece into strips and then just pull on it. If you're using just a plain cotton or whatever, like that material will work as well. I actually think it'll probably make less mess than the fleece, to be honest. Okay, so that's both those Snuffle mats done now. So this is the completed first one where I've just tied all the material on it. To be honest, I think I prefer that anyway. It's just easier to do. The other one ended up being a little more time consuming, although it's smaller. I did sew some bits on. It'll probably be a bit more interactive for the pup. I've cut some slits and stuff. I'll put that on the floor. So I just did a few different bits and bobs here. So he's still got the thick bits of material there. But on this side, I've just done a few, that's just hanging down, and I'd cut some slits and tied some material through there. So you could probably stick some treats through there and they can pull it out of those holes. And then there's some little rosettes up the top here. So I can hide some treats in these little bits here. So I've sewed those on just with a needle and thread. And the other side of it, I've just tied like the other big mat that's on the floor there now. So it's actually a good lockdown activity. It probably took me about 1.5 hours to 2 hours to do that full big one there. This one took maybe an hour or so. You can use whatever material you want. This dotted fleece has peeled a bit. The black one didn't, but the coloured one did a little bit. But you could use a cotton, you could even use sheets if you wanted to, if you had old sheets. It's a good way of not just throwing them out. So I'll put some treats in it for the pup and I'll do a little video of him using it. But hopefully you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed the Snuffle Mat videos. If you're looking for any other activities to do in lockdown, have a look at our Melton Learning Directory YouTube channel. We've got a bunch of videos on there from last lockdown as well. There's exercise, dance, floristry, there's arts and crafts for kids, there's cooking for kids, there's cooking for adults, there's a bunch of stuff on there. We are going to continue trying to run some more of these during this lockdown. So hopefully we'll have some more cooking and some other arts activities for you to do. All the things that I've used, so the material, the mat, where to get them from, under the description of this video. So don't forget to have a look at the rest of the videos on our YouTube channel. I hope you've enjoyed this and your dogs enjoy their new Snuffle Mat.